Over the years, I've had the fun opportunity to ask hundreds of families that we've sat down with, what would you do differently? Knowing what you know now, if you could go back in time, would you change anything? If so, what would it be and why? And one of the conversations that comes up all of the time is someone who is 65 or 70 years old saying, I wish I would have put more money into a tax-free position. Now, maybe they don't say it exactly like that, but what they say is, gosh, I wish I would have known about Roths. I wish someone would have been talking about Roths or Roth conversions or Roth 401ks or Roth IRAs 10, 15, 25 years ago. Because here's the challenge. When I have these conversations with families, or we're doing an education event or a dinner event or a number of different things where we have the opportunity to talk to lots of families, I like to ask them, I say, hey, are you at a lower tax bracket than you thought you'd be? Or how did the advice that you were given years ago about move money into tax deferred statuses, 401ks, IRAs, because you're gonna retire in a lower tax bracket? When I talk about that advice, when I talk about the idea of retiring in a lower tax bracket, without fail, at least one person in the room, if we're doing an event or an educational workshop or a classroom style workshop, at least one person always laughs. And they laugh out of frustration because they did not retire in a lower bracket. Although taxes are at historic lows compared to where they've been over 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, what was misrepresented to the average retiree in today's world is that any reduction in tax brackets is usually offset by the growth in their portfolio over time. Let's talk simple numbers to make it easy to understand. Let's say, for example, we have $100,000 in an IRA, and let's pretend we're at a 10% tax bracket. Well, 10% taxes due on $100,000 is a $10,000 tax bill. But let's say we don't touch that money for 20 years, and it grows to $400,000. And let's say that taxes never change and we're still at a 10% bracket. We now owe 10% of 400,000, which is 40,000. And the simple question is, which number is bigger, 40,000 or 10,000? And so what I believe numerically people are feeling is, yes, they might be in a lower bracket compared to when they were working, but more of their money is taxed. The home's paid off, the kids are moving out or have moved out, or they're taking RMDs, they're making withdrawals from their qualified plans. And so they've just got a lot of money that's being taxed. So this is where a proactive tax strategy can be so valuable, because the reality is quite simple. We can grow portfolios every day, but if we don't have a proactive tax strategy to reduce the impact of taxes on that growth, especially inside of an IRA or a 401k or 403b, we're literally only having half the conversation. If we fast forward and we're paying 20% in taxes in retirement, 25% in taxes between state and federal in retirement, and we worked hard to get a good yield, an 8% return, we're not actually getting 8. We're getting 6 if we have a 25% tax rate. Or let's say we've worked really hard and we've had great investments and we grew our money to have $1 million in a 401k. If it's 100% has not been taxed, do we truly have $1 million in that 401k? Or is it possible that we might have closer to $700,000 to $800,000 once we remove the taxes from the actual account? The good news is this: there are proactive strategies that we can take to preemptively fix those problems. What we want to make sure we're doing is not just paying attention to reducing our tax bill last year, but we want to reduce our tax bill over the course of time. We want to have a proactive tax strategy to reduce the total dollars we pay in taxes over the course of 20 or 25 years in retirement. And the good news is, between recent tax law changes and tools and software that our team uses for our clients, we can say with certainty if a Roth conversion strategy makes sense and how much to do and how often to do it. And the reality is this: what someone does as a conversion strategy one year should not be the same the next year, because taxes change, values of the accounts change, laws could change like we just saw. So a Roth conversion strategy is not something you show up to an advisor's office and they say, hey, here's your strategy, just follow that for the next few years, because things change. So I'm not here to tell you which bracket you should fill up. I'm not here to tell you what's the best Roth conversion strategy for you. What I'm here to tell you is a proactive strategy being manned and checked and viewed and redone every single year by a planning firm who can model it out with certainty is what we actually should be looking for. If we're going to potentially pay Uncle Sam more in taxes this year than we need to because we're doing conversions, doesn't it make good common sense to make sure that we do the accurate amount? Or more importantly, not just the accurate amount, but the most efficient amount possible. We want to make sure that we're not paying $1 more than we need to or $1 less than we need to. We want to optimize our conversion strategy to our situation to get the most bang for our buck. And here's what's fun. We've met with families where Roth conversions don't help them. It doesn't reduce their tax burden throughout their lifetime at all, but it adds more tax-free money to their beneficiaries. And some of our clients leaving money behind to kids or grandkids or charities is a really valuable goal for them. And so Roth conversions help them strengthen that plan. And maybe there's $300,000 more going to the kids and grandkids that would have gone to taxes otherwise. Or maybe we've had some clients that don't want to leave their kids a lot of money, but they want to be able to spend more of it now with them. And we've looked at the Roth conversions for them. And by doing conversions appropriately, we reduce their taxes throughout the course of their life, which gives them more cash flow to go out and spend it with their kids and grandkids and create memories. But if we're more efficient with our taxes, doesn't that give us more money that we could use if needed, if we have a large major medical down the road? If we have more tax-free money and we're more efficient with our taxes, doesn't that give us more cash flow on a month-to-month basis if we want to spend that money? And the tax savings equates to income that we can use to travel, have a lot of fun, enjoy the things we want to enjoy. Or maybe it's just more money left over for kids or grandkids. At the end of the day, there is a strategy that you can implement to either give more money in taxes to the federal government over the course of your life, or more money to those you care about, whether it be kids or grandkids or charities, through a proactive and strategic approach to Roth conversions. Guys, growing your portfolio is great. We want to do that. It is, again, 1/5 of the 5 pillars of a true financial plan, investments. But investments and taxes are almost like siblings that we need to make sure we're talking about them in conjunction with each other. Because if we don't, we're going to grow our money and grow our tax bill. Our goal, what our clients enjoy, is growing our money while reducing our tax bill if we can be proactive and put together these strategies. So if you're not crystal clear on that for your situation, how much do you expect to pay in taxes over the course of your lifetime, and are there ways to reduce that number? I invite you, come in and sit down with our team of advisors. Let's bring you through our Retire Forward Readiness Assessment and understand how ready are you to retire from a tax perspective, and what little tweaks could you make to improve your tax situation over the course of your lifetime. Less taxes means more dollars for you. More dollars for you means more fun in retirement. And guys, that's the goal. Look forward to having that conversation with you one-on-one.